So many landscapers struggle financially, and today we're going to talk about how you can fix that and change your mindset and get the resources that you need to be financially stable, financially intelligent, and change the game in your landscaping business without having to raise prices, change things, disrupt operations. I'm going to jump into some principles today that are going to help you be financially stable and help your business grow for the long term. I'm Gabe Arnold, and this is the Green Mountain Podcast. We are the champions who brave the elements to create beauty. We see chaos and create order. We are never afraid of hard work, and we understand the power of strategic thinking and intentional actions. We come from all walks of life, and we will never allow our past to determine our future potential. We create beauty around the homes of our customers and increase the value of our community with the work that we do every day. We understand the power of consistent branding because it helps us grow and serve all those around us. We practice effective sales so our company, employees, and community can benefit from the value we add. We intentionally invest in operational habits that help us deliver excellent results to our customers on a continual basis. We understand that powerful and beautiful things take time to grow, and with consistent watering and intention, amazing results can happen. We are committed to making the world a better place by being positive examples to all those around us. We don't allow anyone to look down on us because we know the value we bring to our community as leaders. We create positive workplaces for our employees so they feel safe and supported, and at the same time, we hold ourselves to high standards. We pursue excellence on a daily basis because we know the journey is worth the sacrifice. We are the protectors of the land. We are the guardians of beauty. We are the heroes. We are landscapers. I remember when I started my contracting business, and I was looking at a huge dry laid paver patio and walkway. And it was early on in my career. I was about 19 years old, long ago when I had hair. And I went to look at the job. I thought it was a great opportunity. It was in one of the neighborhoods that I really liked working in. It was a community that I was already working in and knew kind of the type of folks that lived there. And I remember showing up and going through the process and, measuring out everything, figuring out what I thought would be effective. And I remember giving the prospective customer a price. And the first thing they said to me was, I was thinking that this would be a little bit less. I was thinking it would be, a couple $1,000s less than what you quoted. Can you sharpen your pencil? Can you do a little bit better on the price? And I'm probably not the only one that's heard that. You've probably heard those types of comments before too. And foolishly, I just said, oh, okay, well, they want to pay, this price. I'll figure out what I can do. I spent a few minutes in my truck and came back and said, here's what we can do. And I just discounted the price. And what ended up happening is that job that I felt rushed, as well as, with my employees. And we ended up getting out of there, but it took longer than I thought it would take. And I was doing it for a reduced price. And had I known what I know now, I would have realized that I had taken my hourly rate from a maybe okay hourly rate that I was getting on the job that was getting me some profit margin to I actually lost money on the job. And I think this is a situation that I know I encountered many times, and I'm sure you probably have too, where the customer already has, a price in mind, or they're just in the habit of trying to get people to knock their prices down. And if we come at our financial kind of strategy with that mindset of, well, I need to sell it at a price that they're going to buy it at, then we're already putting ourselves in a position where we're going to lose out. We're either going to get beat down for no reason because we're just falling into a habit that the customer has. And the customer is actually hurting themselves when they do that, which I'll touch on in a minute here. But we're also, hurting ourselves. We just get in a real bad position if we approach things that way. And in reflecting on that years later, because I ended up having some really financially challenging times in that business. In reflecting on that later, I realized that I never had a strategy. I never had, financial education. And one of the things that I didn't experience, and for so many other, contractors and landscapers and folks that I've talked to and worked with over the years, it was the same for them. They were never taught financial intelligence, financial management at home with their parents, family members, folks there. They were never taught effective financial management in school. And even in college, to be honest, for the folks that I didn't go to college, I think it's beneficial for a lot of folks in some ways. But even with the landscaping clients that we have, when I talk to them, they didn't really get a solid financial education in college, and so we go out and try to start a business, or if we're working and supporting, we're working in another business, we're building our business on the side. We don't have even a foundation with our financial strategy. And so that's the reason why so many landscapers struggle, is because they have no plan and no strategy. In some senses, not, because of their own fault, but end of the day, when we make the decision to become an entrepreneur, to launch a landscaping company in a good way, and then sometimes a bad way, everything is our fault, is our responsibility. And so if you're in the position where, just like I was in the past, where you don't have a plan, you don't have a strategy, and you don't know where to invest your resources and your time, then you can put yourself in a position where you allow pricing situations like that to affect everything. And on top of it, you will ultimately probably do what I did. And that was, I would simply look at my bank balance. I had one main checking account, and that was it for the business. And I would make emotional and irrational decisions based off of the total balance that I had in my business bank account. And if there's no proven guide or map to show you where or how to invest your money, then you're likely going to make unsophisticated choices. Just like another job I remember, I went out and the customer said, hey, I wanted to build this big, patio. I bought all the retaining, wall stones. I bought all the limestone, and I got started, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And so this was a homeowner who wasn't very handy. It really wasn't, it wasn't his skill set. And he had this mess of a retaining wall that I had to tear out. I had to put down the proper foundation, the proper, footing for the retaining wall, and had to build everything up again from the beginning. And the good news for that customer is that in that case, I didn't have any, price conversations, and it would ended up being a profitable job. But more importantly, kind of in my example here, at the end of the day, when we finished that project, the customer had a beautiful retaining wall, an awesome patio. It had a solid base under it. It wasn't going to move for years and years, probably decades. I've actually driven past that project, and it's still there, and it's still beautiful. So with the right foundation, he was able to get what he really wanted. And that's the same thing for you as it relates to your finances. When you have a proper foundation, that's when you're going to be able to actually manage your finances in a skilled and sophisticated manner, just like you have the skills and the sophistication to go out and put in a walkway, to mow a lawn and do a spring cleanup, and plant something beautiful. Like, you have those skills because you've seen somebody do it, you've done it yourself, you've practiced it, you've had guidance, and the structural kind of steps you need to take. Yet when it comes to our finances, we often have no foundation and no structure or process, which leads us to really struggle, and then it affects other things. Just like when I went to that customer who had started building his retaining wall, if I would have just built on top of it, it would have fallen over, it would have been ugly, it would have been terrible, and he would have had to redo it. And so even though he was part of the way through the project, he recognized, man, this is way beyond my skill set. I don't have the knowledge and skill to do this. And so he brought in somebody with experience, and that could help him, deliver something beautiful. And so the good news is for you is, no matter where you are today, you have so much time ahead of you that you can prosper financially and learn the tools and have the foundation to be effective and successful with your financial management. And so I'm just going to touch on briefly a couple concepts to be aware of. And then if you'd like more help with this, we'd love to help you with it. You can go to landscapemarketinghero.com. We have tools and resources there. We have our growth map. We have a bunch of things that will help you build a solid financial foundation. So one of the things to keep in mind is that if we took all the materials and supplies for a job and just threw them in a big pile and hoped magically that it would become this beautiful, completed landscape, installation, That's not actually how it works, is it? Like, we actually have to do things in the right order. We have to segment things. You don't want to mix your 57, limestone with your crushed limestone, because then it's really hard to level the walkway. It can be a struggle. And we do that with our money, and then we don't realize, maybe we probably don't realize in the moment, but if we look back, we go, oh, maybe that's why I'm not getting the results I want financially, because I'm just kind of mashing things together, maybe looking at it all in the bank and saying, oh, I've got 50 grand in the bank, or whatever number you have, 50, 500, 5 grand, 500, doesn't matter what's in there. If you view that as a lump sum and you're doing off the top of your head planning and math and preparation for the expenses and the things that you're going to need to pay, your gas, pay your equipment loans, pay your employees, buy materials, doing that all kind of off the top of your head out of one account can be a real struggle. So one of the things that we teach inside of our Green Mountain Mastermind, with the resources that we have at Landscape Marketing Hero, is how to create storage warehouses for different segments of your money. As an example, you should be setting aside a small percentage of your revenue each time you get paid for taxes. So that way it's set aside, it's ready, you're going to pay your taxes, you're not going to get in trouble with the IRS, you're going to be in a position where you're pre-planning for that. Same thing goes for the profit that you want. Same thing goes for your employee pay and other expenses. There's a really simple way to visually break down the money that you have so that you can properly prepare and plan ahead. In addition, we have an awesome resource, a wonderful CPA company that's gone through all of our financial plans that we created and said, yep, these will work, these are effective. And so you can take a structure and you can either work with the CPA we recommend, or you can work with your CPA, and you can be in a position where you have a strategy that's going to make you strong today and in the future. And the crazy thing about investing in financial management is, when I started to learn these processes and you started to use these really simple to use tools, it was awesome, because the person that taught me walked me through the process and showed me how to use it. And that allowed me to immediately feel like I gave myself a raise, to immediately feel like we were more profitable. And we actually were more profitable, and I had more money in the bank, and I had less stress and less worry, because I had a strategy and a plan, essentially a financial blueprint. Just like when a customer has hired me in the past and they said, here's the blueprint, here's how I want the landscaping to look, here's how the patio is going to be, here's how the water feature is going to be. When I had the plan in front of me, it's so much easier to implement it off a plan instead of just totally making it up in my head without any input from anybody else. And so my main encouragement to you today is realize that if you've struggled financially, it's likely that you just don't have an effective strategy and a blueprint to get where you want to go. And that's something that we're here to serve you with. We have a bunch of great free resources around this. We have things inside of the mastermind that can help you with. And I just want to let you know that if you're struggling financially, or if things just aren't quite where you want them to be, there is a clear path forward. And so viewing your money differently, creating a visual plan, breaking out some things in different accounts, and just taking a few simple steps can change the game for you. It totally changed the game for me. And it put me in a position where I was able to last through the winter without worrying about it, where I was able to save for goals that I had, where I was able to actually take off and take vacations because I had enough money in the bank to do that, and pay my crew to work while I was gone. And so today, I just want to remind you that there is a path forward, and that you don't have to struggle, and you don't have to rely on the poor foundation or the lack of information or no foundation that you started out with, but there is a path forward. So I look forward to hearing from you. You can check all our resources out at landscapemarketinghero.com, and we will see you on the next show. If you're ready to begin your journey up the Green Mountain, where we show you how to build a low-stress, high-profit, $10 million per year landscaping company, then head over to landscapemarketinghero.com to download your free growth map. One of our guides will be there to help you along the way. Again, that's landscapemarketinghero.com.